Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the December 10th, 2025 meeting of the Citizen Advisory Council. Because we are on Zoom, what I'd like to do is to do a roll call of the CAC members who are here for the purposes of the minutes. And so, Jeannie, I don't know, is this still going to fall under you, or who am I turning to for these sorts of things?
Lamar is going to be
roll call
taking. Yep.
tonight.
Lamar
Okay.
is taking over. Lamar, I'll handle the door.
So, is it?
Here.
Chair?
Say Ted.
Yes.
Here.
Kelly?
Here.
Of course, the chair, Richard?
Here.
Anna?
Here.
Micah? Casey? Sarah? Carol?
I'm here, yep.
All right. So we have 6 members all together right now.
Great. Well, welcome everyone. So good to see you. And I'm glad, knock on wood, the tech is working tonight. So we can actually hold our first meeting September. Speaking of that September meeting, I wanted to make sure everybody received the minutes. And if so, I wanted to see if I have a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Thank you, Ted.
Second.
Thank you, Carol. Any discussion or amendments to propose to those minutes? Hearing none, I think we can do a roll call vote.
All right. The motion to adopt, is it?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Anna?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Great.
Micah? Micah? All right. 6.
Great. The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to turn into the interview portion of tonight's meeting. Just a few introductory remarks before we get going on those. We're going to call people in the order that they show up on our applicant list. I noticed that there are a lot of applicants who are interviewing for more than one board or commission this evening. And so for anyone who is applying for more than one board, we're not going to ask you to rank them or tell us which board or commission you're the most interested in. We just want to hear your reasons for both, and then we'll separately vote on each board or commission that you have applied for. In terms of the interviews, we promise we'll make it as painless as possible. We just ask that you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've applied for the board or commission that you've chosen, or the multiple boards or commissions that you've chosen. We may have a few questions for you, but please don't take lack of questions as lack of interest. It just means that in your introductory remarks, we may have heard enough and we feel like we have enough information to go forward with the vote. Just to let everybody know, after the vote, if you have been approved to move on in the process, those who are nominated to move on will be contacted by Human Resources in the relatively near future, and Human Resources will take care of scheduling the follow-up meeting and walking you through the next steps of the process. Did I miss anything, CAC members, that you'd like to cover before we start the interviews?
I will just say that since we are on Teams, just making sure that when it is not your turn, that you are muted so that we can hear everyone properly.
Thank you. Excellent reminder. All right. Well, I would like to know, is Patrick Lowe here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Excellent.
Hi, Patrick. We see you're here tonight to interview for the Board of Health and the Civic Center Commission. Is that correct?
I am actually just interested in the Board of Health. I've previously served on the Civic Center Commission, but I'm not applying for that at this time.
Got it. Okay. Well, hearing that, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've applied.
Sure, and I'm sorry, I can't figure out a way to get my camera on, but at least the meeting is here and active, so this time, this month around. So my name's Patrick Lowe. I am a physician scientist who graduated from Holy Cross back in 2012 and from UMass Chan Medical School in 2020. I'm an emergency room physician, and I practice in the UMass Health System in Worcester at Memorial and University, and up in Leominster, where I'm actually calling in from this evening. Throughout my medical career, I've been very involved in various public health initiatives, working closely with the Massachusetts Medical Society, and particularly on a number of advocacy issues related to substance use, injury prevention, and all sorts of preventative and primary care related issues. As an ER doctor, I see, basically all of the sequelae of these non-preventative things, the lack of primary care access, the lack of access to information on substance use and treatments and stuff like that. All that presents to me in the ER. And so I have an opportune, workplace environment to see where public health can be most impacted and affect patients and my neighbors. So it's an honor to practice in Worcester, to take care of the people who live in this community. And as an extension sort of that work and that mission, I'm interested in serving on the Board of Health to sort of bring that physician perspective to this regulatory agency. So that's sort of the motivation and my little bit of my background.
Any questions from the members of the CAC?
Yes, doctor. My name is Ted. I'm just curious to see what brought your attention and why do you really want to, why do you want to serve on the Board of Health?
What brought my attention, I guess I've been following it since it was sort of regulatorily established. I've known some of the members who serve on it peripherally from my, experiences in the past. The chairwoman now was heading up the Family Health Center when I was a rotating medical student years ago. And so I got to meet her at that time. And, being in the medical field, it's important to sort of know who regulates the industry and sort of related industries. So I've sort of just paid attention along the way. At this point in my career, I'm looking for opportunities to sort of impact patients and the community prior to them getting to my exam room. And it, for me, fit a good time now that I'm established in my practice a couple of years in. I have a little bit of flexibility in my schedule to do so. So I've been kind of paying attention and interested in it for some time, but I felt like personally for now is an opportunity for me to get involved and have an impact on the community.
And just a quick follow-up. What would you like to see, anything in particular that you think that the Board of Health could improve by?
Well, I would say in particular, Worcester, I think, offers a really unique place for a lot of coordinated health to occur. Unlike Boston, where I trained, where there's so many institutions sort of fighting for, a spot, Worcester has some really great nonprofit organizations as well as the medical systems, but it's not so big that we can't do things. What I've seen the public health space sort of working on in terms of green initiatives, planting more trees, creating safer streets. These are things that have a huge impact on patients that I end up seeing or hopefully don't see because our streets are safer, crosswalks are better identified. There's a little bit tighter regulation around, access to things like flavored cigarettes and stuff like that. Worcester's a place where we can get some of these things done. And, I'm interested in sort of those more nimble ways that we can, kind of keep people out of the hospital, keep people out of the medical system.
When you say flavored cigarettes, what do you mean by that? Vapes or, I'm sorry?
Sure. I think there's, vapes and anything that's sort of, attractive to children in terms of that, edibles, gummies, things like that are out there in the industry that might be targeted towards the youth. I think we have, a smaller community with interest in protecting our neighbors, interested in protecting our families here in Worcester. And so there's, with the board, with the coordination with, nonprofits and the city government and, the city police or EMS services, there's a lot of kind of unique opportunities and ways that we in Worcester can get things done that you might not see, in every major metropolitan city across the country. And I think we should take advantage of that opportunity to make, life healthier and safer in Worcester.
Would that be including the, I'm going to butcher the name of it, but it's a synthetic opiate that they sell in gas stations and so forth. Would that be something you'd be interested in banning in the city?
I wouldn't be able to specifically say, not knowing which one you're referring to specifically, but I think
there's a particular one that just slips my memory. It's HP 10. No, I'm going to butcher it. Like I said, what the hell is it called? All I know is it is a synthetic opiate, and I'm not a fan of it being sold so much over the counter. Is that something that would interest you? But like I said, I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. I had a long day, so please,
No.
I apologize.
I think in general, sort of my approach would be, let's look at some of the data as to the harms or benefits of whatever's available in the city and whatever might best be regulated, and get some experts into the board to sort of educate us if we don't have the expertise on the board to do it. But I mean, I personally take a stance of, people have some freedoms, but we should have some regulation around those freedoms and keep people safe. And, access to dangerous things like opioids. I mean, that's bread and butter. What I do is, trying to treat people who come in, who've overdosed, who've died, frankly, and try to help them get the care that they need, whether it's from me or someone else. So yeah, I would be interested in regulating any of the, dangerous items that are out there. Or making them more available and more safely available if they're already available, and we're not going to, ban them, but make some regulations to keep things safe.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I don't want to commit to it because I don't know exactly what we're talking about, but I would take that educated sort of approach to say.
I accept that. I do accept that. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Forgive me.
yeah.
Like I said, I can't remember the name of it, but it is a product that's being sold over the counter at most convenience stores and gas stations, and it's not technically regulated. And my fear is that anyone under 21 could get their hands on it. And then again, is it addictive, and is it something that we wanted to take a look at and see? We necessarily have to do something about it, because I know there are a few other towns in the Commonwealth that don't allow it. And
well, the board should hear from some experts on it who should get the data before them. And, I would be in favor of making the safer decision for a community rather than letting things run without information. So that I would certainly be open to entertaining that. And I think we should all learn more about, these different items that are available in the community.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all that information. I think we could carry on this conversation for much, much longer, but in the interest of getting to our other applicants, how about we go ahead and push Patrick's application to a vote?
Very well.
Your mic is muted.
Sorry, Patrick for the Board of Health, is it?
Yes.
Chair,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Emma,
Yes.
Casey.
Yes.
I saw you came in. Carol.
Yes.
All right, so all 7 commissioners voted in favor.
Excellent. Well, congratulations. Thank you so much for your application, and you'll be hearing from the Human Resources Department.
Thanks so much for your time. Have a great night.
Thanks, you too. Our next applicant is Carlos Rosende. Is Carlos here?
I am.
Wonderful. Well, good evening. We see you're here tonight to talk to us about the Planning Board and Conservation Commission.
Yes. So I first came to Worcester about 5 years ago. I've been a resident for all that time and recently became a homeowner about 1.5 years ago. I love the city. My wife was born and raised here. I've been coming here long before I moved here. This is where I've put down my roots. We're raising our 3 boys here. So I want an opportunity to contribute to the community. Service is important to me. And I think given my background and my interest, Planning Board, Conservation Commission, and I don't know if I'd put it in there, but potentially ZBA, I think would be where I could be most useful.
Well, can you tell us a little bit about your knowledge of these 2 commissions and what has drawn your interest to them?
Sure. I've watched recordings of the Conservation Commission and Planning Board online. And I'm a lawyer, and one of the areas I practice is municipal law. We don't do any work out this way, but we do have clients closer to Boston, and that's given me some exposure to the work of both conservation commissions and planning boards. It's kind of interesting. I think, except people don't realize the amount of influence these boards have in really shaping our built environment, where we spend our days. I think they can really foster community by building cities to look the way we want them to be welcoming, to be organic, and to grow and foster all the good things that we like about good functioning communities. And so I see this as an opportunity to do that.
Questions from the other CAC members?
Yes. Carlos, I'm sorry. What type of experience do you have with development in particular that you would be helpful in working on the planning board?
Sure. In development, specifically, my experience has been on sort of the other side of things. So my law firm's clients include several towns that are closer to Boston, and we actually work with their planning boards, offering advice on whether things meet the requirements in their zoning bylaws or zoning ordinances. And then occasionally, if litigation ensues, we also represent the town.
Okay. Any particular cases that you might want to refer to that maybe of a good interest?
Sure. I guess one that's related to the Conservation Commission. We represented the town of, I'm actually not sure if I could, well, we represented the town of Lexington in an issue that they had with someone applying for a special permit. A neighbor intervened, attempted to prevent the special permit from being issued. Litigation ensued. They sued the town, they sued the applicant, and we're trying to work out a settlement right now. But that involves the Conservation Commission additionally, because in the sort of morass that resulted, there was going to be a land swap that involved Article 97 conservation land. And that was within the purview of the Conservation Commission.
So that's been appealed, I'm assuming?
Yeah, right now it's in Superior Court, but since settlement negotiations are ongoing, there's no action on the docket right now.
Okay. Thank you.
From the other CAC members? All right, I think we're ready for a vote.
All right. Carlos for the planning board. Is there?
Yes, and thank you for your service. So,
Thanks.
Chair? Chair?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
All right. Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Alma,
Yes.
Micah, Casey,
Yeah.
and Carol.
Yes.
All right. All 7 voted in favor of planning board. And then for conservation, colors for conservation. Is it?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
No.
Alma?
No.
Carol?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
All right. 5 in favor and then 2 says no. So the motion passed.
Well, congratulations. You'll be moving on for both boards for consideration, and Human Resources will be reaching out.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you so much. Our next applicant is Stacy Forrest for the Accessibility Advisory Commission and the Human Rights Commission. Stacy, I think I see you here.
Yes, hello.
Good evening. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in these two commissions?
Sure. My name is Stacy Forrest. I have lived in Worcester for 16 years with my family. I have worked in Worcester as well for the past 5 years at Thrive Support and Advocacy. So I'm the Chief Operating Officer there. We're a nonprofit whose entire mission is about accessibility and inclusion for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So we run a family support center as well as a number of other programs for individuals and their families who have an identified family member with an intellectual or developmental disability. We serve about 500 families, which represents over 1,000 people in the city who are living and working with a disability. So in that role, I get a lot of opportunities to hear directly from our participants, is what we call them, around things like, whether it's the transit needs that they may have, or needs for after-school programs for kids with disabilities, or, you name it. And we run a parent and caregiver advisory council where they advise us directly on what their needs are. So I am fortunate enough to get a lot of first-person feedback from folks who live in the city about what they would like to see. So I really appreciate that role. I first heard about this opportunity at an out to lunch that was held over the summer for, I think it was Disability Pride Day, and some other members of the commission were there talking about it. I also participated in Leadership Worcester, and I got to learn quite a bit about the importance of the commissions. And, lastly, I'll just say that I'd really appreciate the opportunity to advocate for the folks that we work with.
Any questions from the CAC members?
I'll ask if. Stacy, do you see any conflict of interest in any of these situations that you might run into?
Well, no participants pay for our services. It's all sort of voluntary participation of people throughout the city, and it's really the central Massachusetts area that we cover. I would be more than happy to, recuse myself, step back if anything were to be of concern. But our entire company only contracts with the larger state and doesn't receive any funding from the city. So that's generally how we would keep that separate, but I would take any advisement that I was given.
Okay, thank you.
And Stacy, can you tell us a little bit about your familiarity with the Human Rights Commission and what specifically is attracting you to that commission?
I tried to clarify that in an email. I didn't apply for the Human Rights Commission.
Got it. Okay. So just Accessibility Advisory Commission. Thank you for that clarification.
Yes, thank you for asking.
Other questions from the CAC? Hearing none, I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, 60 for the accessibility advisory committee. Izzy,
Yes.
Ter,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Amber,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Casey.
Yeah.
All right, also member you voted in favor.
Congratulations, you'll be moving on in the process.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all of your time.
Appreciate your time and your application. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Our next applicant is Leon Wilkerson. I think I see Leon here.
Hey, how you doing?
Good evening. We see that you're here tonight to talk to us about the Citizen Advisory Council and the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yes. I am, a little bit about me. I am a lawyer by trade. I am the Chief Workforce Officer for Family Health Center of Worcester, and also I am their Chief Legal Officer as well. I moved to Worcester about a year ago. I worked in another FQHC, Federally Qualified Health Center in Orange, Massachusetts before moving to Worcester. So I'm steeped into the FQHC movement. My private practice, I do have a law firm, and we're probably in 8-9 states. And so we have a full service law firm, and my specialty is corporate law and employment law. And so my desire to give back in the community that I live in, that I serve, is the primary reason why I want to be available and avail myself to the board and the community in this way. I think the biggest motivator is that I live here, and living here, I believe I should contribute both talent, time, and money to the place that I live to make it better. And that's my ultimate driver. I want to make sure that anything that I can do to support the community outside of my current day job, I do it. And so those are my motivating factors. Why those two boards? I think because of my breadth of experiences in legal experiences and life experiences, I think I can add value in the thoughts and the diversity of thoughts with those boards, and how to support the community from those specific perspectives.
Can you tell us a little bit about your specific interest in the Zoning Board of Appeals? What's attracted you to it, and what kind of projects they're working on that you might be most interested in?
My specific interest in the Zoning Board of Appeals goes similar to what the previous lawyer talked about. One of the key areas to making a great city hospitable and a place that people want to live is your ability to leverage the zoning rules and laws to thoughtfully plan the community. You don't want to necessarily restrict use to a point where people can't really enjoy the community, but you want to have a coordinated plan to where how you're zoning and what you're building, the people that will inherit the city in the future can absolutely use it. I'm from Florida, and I lived in different parts of Florida. And one of the things that Florida is good for is thinking through how it wants to zone different parts of the city or whatever the city is. And that has allowed us to do really well with tourism. That has allowed us to do really well with how we structure mixed uses of property. In terms of the current projects that the board is working on, I'm not too dialed into the current projects the board is working on. So that's where I am with that one.
Other questions from the CAC members?
Hi, Leon. Could you talk a little bit about how your experience, your portfolio could complement the Citizen Advisory Council role in particular? Maybe what that role, how your resume would allow you to, succeed in that capacity?
I think so. So my experience in terms of my current role and my previous experience, I was former law enforcement, and prior to becoming a lawyer and prior to this healthcare piece of it, there are interactions that I've had as a citizen and as a citizen of cities in which it led me to believe that if someone was looking at our interactions as citizens of a city, and someone was keeping an eye on how the citizens are treated and how they are thought of, that some of the policies and some of the gestures would be different. As former law enforcement, what I've seen is that, for example, community policing and being able to address and support different members of the community in a holistic way was more inviting, and it reduced the interactions, the bad interactions that we would have with law enforcement. As chief legal officer in my current role, one of the things that I encounter is a wide variety of patients who come from many different walks of life, whether they are refugees, whether they are undocumented, whether they have substance abuse issues, whether they have criminal backgrounds. And so at the health center, we see everybody. And because of that wide variety of interactions, we have to take things from an approach of people are people, and how do we make it safe for both the citizenship here and also safe for the city. And it's finding that unique balance. And so even in my day job, I'm always considering those different aspects of how to support the city, but also how to support the individuals, because there's going to be a wide variety of needs. And as a city, it's hard to serve everybody. So you want to be able to serve in a way that you're cognizant of those unique issues. So that's kind of how I see being on that board and being able to give thought leadership on, okay, here's some of the things that we can consider. The other piece of it is, as a lawyer, I am constantly thinking about those things. I'm constantly looking at the legal implications, and specifically as the chief legal officer of the health center, as laws are being changed from Washington and things are being muddled, it has a huge impact on how we interact and manage our interactions with our citizens. They're going through a lot. There are a lot of changes in terms of what they are experiencing and what they perceive government is doing to them. And sometimes they can't separate the two. Sometimes they can't separate what's happening in Washington versus what the city of Worcester is doing or what the state is doing. And so one of the things I pride myself on is being able to explain and de-escalate situations of where citizens don't quite understand where we're coming from, or we don't quite understand where they're coming from and what the interactions are and how to make it better. So I think that's one of the biggest assets that I bring to that commission and that board.
Leon, let me actually point out that the Citizen Advisory Council is almost a meta commission. It's the commission that interviews, as you're doing right now, and votes to move people on for consideration for the other boards and commissions. The things that you just described about the interaction between the city of Worcester and our citizenry, and also the federal government and those who live in Worcester, to me, it feels like those are issues that are really touched heavily by the Human Rights Commission. So although that's not one of the commissions that you've applied for this evening, and I don't even know what the openings are right off the top of my head, but depending on what happens here tonight, I just hope you'll consider whether that's a board or commission that you might be interested in serving on, in addition to the two that you've applied for this evening.
So going back to the thought leadership. So what happens is the sub-board, this is the deciding factor on who gets on those other boards. And that thought leadership, that gatekeeping, that thought leadership of who gets on those other boards is huge. And it's kind of like recruitment. And it's based on that, understanding that you're going to have the different thought processes and the different types of interactions that you're going to have. And that sub board is the board that will help decide how it looks. And being able to have those different points of view of here's what's happening in different aspects of the city and different aspects of the citizenship is what I'm getting at. So you're gatekeepers, and in understanding that we're gatekeepers, it's still based on what the citizens need. It's not necessarily based on the human rights component of it.
Agreed, and I appreciate that clarification of your answer. Any final questions for this applicant?
I do have one quick question. Your address, is that a correct address that's on your application?
64 Beacon Street?
Yes.
Yes, that's right down the street.
All right, I believe that's District 4, so you have the wrong district on your application. I'm not sure if we have an opening in District 4, do we?
Ted, I think we could leave that for if Leon has moved on for consideration, HR will be able to address whether what the appropriate district is or whether there are any at-large positions available.
That's fine.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? This is Jeannie. The Citizen Advisory Council, you actually don't vote on those applicants. So you won't be voting on the Citizen Advisory Council opening tonight, but you will be voting on the Zoning Board of Appeals, and there is an opening in District 4 on the Zoning Board. Regarding the Citizen Advisory Council, Lamar will meet with Leon at a different time to discuss this opening on or any openings on the CAC. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean.
Thanks for catching that. We'll make sure that anyone else who may have accidentally made it on for CAC consideration, that we'll leave that out of the conversation this evening. Well, with that in mind, I think we can turn to the ZBA vote.
You're on mute.
Sorry, the guys are cleaning our office, so there's a lot of noise. That's why I keep muting myself. Leon for the zoning board, Board of Appeal. Isa?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All 7 voters in favor.
Congratulations, you'll be moving on in the process.
Thank you.
I don't know that I saw this next applicant in the waiting room. Is Brett Turner here? How about Monica Thomas Bonick? What about Taryn Haynes? How about Mark Waxler?
I am here.
Excellent. Well, good evening. We see you're here tonight to talk to us about your interest in the Civic Center Commission. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you've applied.
I've been in Worcester for about 30 years. I was the Vice President General Manager of the Beechwood Hotel. And while I was there, I was on the Convention Bureau, Destination Worcester, which is the predecessor to Discover Central Mass. I was on the Research Bureau, I'm sure I forgot other, various other committees in hospitality. Since for the past 10 years, I've been doing consulting, and my major project was in Westford. The hotel's been sold, so the time I was spending with that is coming to an end. I was also past president of Mass Lodging Association, past president of New England's Resort. So I've always been in hospitality, and I've always been very involved in the community. I live downtown. I am a 5-minute walk from City Hall. And since I now have more free time, I'm semi-retired, I want to get more involved again in the areas that I like hospitality. And as you know, I used to say that I wanted the Civic Center for a while, but Jim Owen is one of my best friends, and I didn't want to be his boss. So and now he's retiring, so this became a perfect opportunity because I really like the field, and I feel I can contribute a lot to hospitality, and so that's why I applied for it.
Any questions from the council members? Hearing none, I think we can move forward with a vote.
All right, Mark Wester for the Civic Center Commission. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
And Carol?
Yes.
All right, all 7 voted in favor of Mark going to the Civic Center Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. You'll be hearing from the Human Resources Department.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Our next applicant is Edwin Suarez. Is Edwin here?
Hello, everybody. So my name is Edwin Suarez. I am a person with lived experience, and that means incarceration, substance use disorder, mental health, unhoused, being homeless. I've been a Worcester resident since 1989. My recovery process took me to Springfield, Massachusetts. Back in 2017, I couldn't get any help here in Worcester at the time, so I ended up going into treatment. I ended up living in a transitional housing. I ended up becoming a recovery coach. I am today I'm a certified addictions recovery coach, a certified peer specialist, a recovery coach, professional facilitator. Out in Springfield, I became part of the Public Health Council for 4 years. I'm currently part of the peer steering committee for the Recovery Educational Collaborative. I'm the lived experience working group for the city of Worcester. I'm employed under 2 organizations. One is Elliott Community Human Services here in Worcester, where I provide support for the unhoused community on project assistance for transitional housing through Elliott Community Human Services. Choice recovery coaching. I provide the trainings for individuals to become certified addiction recovery coaches in the state and across the country. The reason that I want to be part of the Homeless Commission is through my experiences and through my interactions with individuals that have been unhoused in this city, in Springfield. And I've acquired a lot of knowledge of the process. And I feel that with opportunity and proper support and purpose that a lot of these unhoused individuals can be able to turn their lives around.
Thank you so much for your application. I'll tell you right now that I'm going to be voting yes. So I'm tipping my hand just a little bit, but I did just want to ask you, it feels like there is a real lack of services in the city of Worcester for people who are unhoused. Do you have any, ideal plans if we were able to just put things into action? What's at the top of your list?
I've number one is opportunity. Cost of living is going up. A lot of unhoused individuals are under Social Security benefits, and a lot of these sober houses are like $900,000, which is above and beyond their financial means. I was able to progress because I lived in a transitional house in Chicopee, Massachusetts, that I paid $440 a month. And I was able to work at a warehouse before I became a recovery coach that was in walking distance, because I lost my license for 10 years due through past experiences that I had, but I was able to gain purpose, get my license back, get Section 8, be able to go through the process of being able to, get off of these benefits and, work as many jobs as I need to and get more involved. But I think the opportunity needs to be there, and through support, helping these people find their strengths and to find purpose, that's employment, that's whatever is it that they feel that they need for them to be able to become productive members of society.
Other questions from the council?
Yes, first of all, congratulations on your recovery, Edwin. I know it's not easy. Are you currently working for SMARC? I'm a little confused.
No, I worked for SMARC for 6 years, and I gave my resignation actually last month because
Okay.
I was still working on it in Western Mass at one of the transitional houses at the end of my journey with them in Palmer. But it was just too much, having 3 jobs and doing all this other stuff. It was just too much, so I had to let it go. I'm still involved with them with supported services, but I work for Elliott Community Human Services in the city.
Okay, good. All right. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Other questions from the council? I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, Edwin Suarez for Commission on Homelessness. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes. Yes.
Casey?
Yes, and thank you for coming today.
Carol?
Yes, please.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor of Edwin moving to the Commission on Homelessness.
Well, thank you again for your application, and the Human Rights Department or Human Resources Department will be in touch.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody.
You as well. Our next applicant is Onyx Rothman. I think I saw Onyx in the room.
Hello.
Good evening. We see you're here to talk to us about the Commission on Homelessness and also the LGBTQ+ Commission. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in those 2 commissions?
Yeah, absolutely. So hello, everyone. My name is Onyx. I've been living in Worcester for around 4 years right now, and I'd like to live here much longer. And I guess like a little bit about myself, I'm currently a senior graduating college very soon. And when I look out, I'm like very involved with politics, and I'm trying to get more involved with the community. And I think about, I guess, like the future for me. And when I look at the people representing us, oftentimes I feel that I will deal with the consequences of like bad policy longer than a lot of people. So I wanted to throw my hat in the ring and discuss things with people. Particularly, I am an LGBTQ person, and I think that I'm very supportive of us being like a sanctuary city, and that's something I was very happy to see passed. But to me, it almost seemed like more of like a representative thing. And there are so many resources that you can utilize in ways that I think people don't think about as much. I guess, like, for example, in relation to what I've done with homelessness in the past, there are a lot of restaurants. And with current laws, you can't sell, let's say, something that you baked today, tomorrow, even though it's effectively like just as good. So what happens is everything just gets thrown away. So I, with a couple of friends, what we did is we had like a network where we went out to 20 or so restaurants. And at the end of the day, there was a bunch of food that was just as good as everything else. And we asked, instead of throwing it away, if we could just take that and give it out to all the unhoused people in the area. And I think that was, to me, a very successful project. It felt very fulfilling. And I guess, like, more broadly to me, spoke about how there are so many like untapped resources out there that a creative mind could like really look into. So I would be honored to be a part of like a local Worcester government, and I think I would have a lot to offer.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission members?
Hi, Onyx.
Onyx. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are you sure, Ted? Okay. Really quick. Hi, Onyx. Thanks for being here. My question is if you've been able to, peruse the website, look at any of the minutes from either of these, for either of these positions, and if so, are there any topics that have really stood out to you that have been discussed by these boards?
Yes. So I remember there was someone, I believe, on the zoning board. I think it was Jordan Powers. And he mentioned once how getting like involving like parking lot minimums and like square footage minimums, it was always like a dance between developers. And to me, I guess like I'm sure he's just as frustrated as I am. But I guess like to zone in on something in particular, it seems that like what we should be doing is facilitating new growth. And I think like housing, especially in Worcester, has been pretty unfortunate, especially after COVID. So I think we have like a 1.3% vagrancy rate. 5 to 7 is considered healthy. And I think that's something that intersects a lot with other issues, especially like I mentioned, like LGBTQ stuff. So as a board, I think like our goal, if I was on that board, for example, would be to facilitate as much housing as possible and get things done. But I think there's this, I guess, like this unfortunate bureaucracy that I see. And I know that everyone's like doing such a great job. And I think more specifically, if there was like an idea that I would want to bring to a board, it would be to communicate with people, but also let people do their things. I think that people work in their own interest and people know what they want, and allowing people, I guess, to build and allow organizations that already exist to have like the resources that they need would be great for Worcester.
And Ted, you had a question?
Yeah, I actually have two. Are you still a student at Clark University?
So I should be graduating soon, but currently I'm enrolled as an undergraduate, correct?
And what can you tell me about your experiences with the homelessness?
Yes. So I've lived around a lot. I lived in Florida before I moved to Massachusetts, where I would consider myself to have grown up. By Tallahassee, it was this like exclusively Jamaican neighborhood. And you see there are these blocks that, like they have these wonderful houses, the fronts, they have so much foliage, they have all this landscaping, and then you swap a block and then all of a sudden you see like the houses, they look shabby, and, like there are people all over the street. And I think it's like really unfortunate. And when people talk about homelessness, I think there's like this very judgmental perspective where people say, it's your fault, or you should have pulled yourself up more. But I think there's certainly something more to it. And you can see discrepancies between different areas if you were to look at like Worcester, Springfield, or any of these things. And I think it would be silly to say that, people in Worcester are, like more lazy than they are in Newton, which is like obviously a ridiculous thing to say. And I think the work that I've done, I've worked as volunteer staff at a homeless shelter and a soup kitchen for I think like 7 months now. And I think like coming to people with kindness and like understanding, you go to these places. And I once met a Paralympian karate practitioner He's since retired, but just like that's pretty crazy. And if you walked by him on the street, you would never suspect it. But he's honed his craft, and he's apparently one of the best in the world. I looked him up, and he has some great videos. So I think that people have like so much to offer, and taking that perspective is like important.
Okay, thank you.
Well, hearing no other questions, I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, at least for the LGBTQ plus, is it?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
And Carol?
Yes.
What the? Oh, all right. We'll move to the Commission on Homelessness. Is it?
No.
Chair?
No.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
No.
Amber?
No.
Casey?
No.
And Carol?
It's a yes for me.
All right, 2 voted in favor and the rest 5 members voted no. So that didn't pass.
Well, thank you, Onyx, for coming before us tonight. And you'll be moving on in the process for the LGBTQ Plus Advisory Commission, and the Human Resources Department will be reaching out soon.
Alrighty, thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much. Is Chad Rankin here? How about Yvette Almeida? Or Isaaclyn Nyanabo? Amida Nshaw?
I'm available.
Good evening. Well, we see you're here to apply for the Commission on Homelessness and also the Board of Health. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in those 2 commissions.
Yeah, just thank everybody. My name is Amida Incho. I'm a pharmacist, a trained pharmacist. I have a PharmD. I also have a master's in public health, and I have a doctorate in regulatory. And I'm also a consultant for DPH. I do a lot of consultancy, especially. And I'm the present CEO of New Hope Recovery Shelter. It's a senior shelter. We're opening a senior shelter alongside with the city of Worcester in terms of 55 plus. It's a specialty type of program which we are contextualizing, reaching out to the unreached people's group. In my role as the CEO of New Hope Recovery Shelter, I've provided strategic leadership and operational oversight of integrated behavioral health, recovery, elder service program, service in the Worcester community. I've also helped in designing and implementing the New Hope Recovery Shelter initiative, a supportive housing model for adult 55 plus with behavioral health housing challenge. We're also trying to reduce the hospitalization, especially with the winter, to reduce the police movement, to reduce the ambulance services. So I've been heavily involved with that, attending meetings. Also, I've partnership with the City of Worcester Department of Health and Human Service and the continuum of care. So I also bring 2 aspects. I bring the clinical aspect, I bring the business aspect because I'm also involved in the business. So sometimes when you look at public health, you look at the healthcare, sometimes the business aspect and the public health, the dynamics, also have helped in building multilingual, culturally responsive service capacity to improve access for underrepresented population, serve as an excellent liaison to the DPH, DMH, mass health and community partners. I've also led a data-driven research with regards to burnt out for nurses. During the pandemic, we did a lot of work with the nursing homes, provided nursing services, home care services. We work with the Worcester Recovery. So I've seen the health equity, cultural responsive leadership, behavioral health, substance use system, crisis response, public health, and homelessness prevention, and especially dealing with the elder service and the aging service. So I've pretty much worked in the healthcare system, design programs. I'm a consultant for DPH. Some of the regulatory issues I'm involved with, looking at pharmacy practice, looking at healthcare, looking at homelessness, looking at leadership. I've also been a drug safety officer for Advi Pharmaceutical, where we've ensured drug safety. So I've been in the healthcare system. I do speak several languages. I bring a cross-cultural perspective, and I help in designing program. We just designed a program for the Department of Labor with behavioral and behavioral, taking people out of the homelessness. So we just got a grant for that. So looking at healthcare from a dynamics of taking people out of the street, seeing to it that they get into shelter, not just replicating the program, but looking at a program from a holistic perspective where there's a wraparound model that can contextualize the society in which we live. So those are some of them. That's my background. And I've lived in Worcester, and I've lived in Worcester for more than 15 years. So I understand the growth in the last 10 years. I understand the population dynamics. I've seen the challenge. I'm also FEMA trained. Should in case there was a responsive issue with the city, we could help with the responsiveness with it. And I do serve. I've also served in the home care board for the state. I've served in a couple of boards. So I come with that background. Thank you.
Well, you certainly covered everything that I normally ask about, but are there questions from the other commission members?
I'm with you, Rachel. There's nothing left to ask.
I got actually a two-part question.
Go for it.
The New Hope Recovery Shelter, where is that opening?
The New Hope Recovery Shelter is a 55 plus. It's going to take place in King Street. We are having some logistic issues, but we've already designed the program. It's going to be a specialty program that is going to reduce hospitalization. It's going to reduce, it's going to also reduce police movement in the city. So we're doing a clinic in the shelter such that these people will not be hospitalized. If they have any issue, they will be taken care. So there's going to be an LICSW, LMHC, a nurse practitioner, and a medical doctor. We have an endocrinologist who is volunteering to work with us, because one of the issues that most people 55 plus are facing, according to recent medical statistics, is diabetes, hypertension. So those are some of the things, comorbidities we've taken care of, looked into. So we're going to start the program. We've worked together with Dr. Castille. I've worked together with a couple of people. And I just saw, I've forgotten her name. She's also part of, is it Parantier Gailey? So we've worked together with the homeless and in a couple of other stuff. So I'm heavily involved in most of with the homeless and the healthcare issues in the city.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think we're ready to go forward with vote.
All right, Amida, for the Commission on Homelessness. Is there?
Absolutely, yes.
There?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Amma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
So for the Commission on Homelessness, all 7 members voted in favor. So that passed. We move to the Board of Health. Is it?
Yes.
Ter,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Yes, Amber,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes, yes. Can I vote twice? Yes. That's 3 times.
So Amanda was approved for both commissions.
Well, thank you so much. You'll move on in the process for both commissions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Our next applicant is Joseph Murphy. I'm not sure I saw Joseph in the room.
No.
How about Echo Louison?
I'm here. Hi, hello.
Good evening. We see you're here tonight to talk to us about your applications for the Advisory Commission on Youth and the status of Women Advisory Commission. Is that correct?
Yes.
Great. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in those commissions.
So my name is Echo Louison Collins because I was recently married. So yay for that. And I am the founder and executive director of a youth empowerment community service nonprofit. We have been running for 3.5 years, and we use community service, mutual aid, and advocacy as a tool and a method to empower youth. And we teach them that the true root of the community is through serving in the community. And that when you serve in the community, you will make connections in the community and there'll be opportunities for you within the community. I model for them what I teach. Everything in life I've ever gained, I've gained through serving. Every time I've moved up in a job, every time I've had, something happen, I was connected to something, there was a resource, an opportunity. It's always been while I was serving and doing something, for someone else. So I think that's so important. We focus mainly on food insecurity and advocacy. So one of the things that we do monthly is we have our monthly food insecurity project where our youth make and package 100 meals every month for the unsheltered and families in need. And that program has evolved greatly. We're right about probably 200 to 300 meals monthly, but it's so inspiring and it's so engaging. I deal with a lot of underserved youth. I have youth from all walks of life. A lot of my youth come from collaborative schools or, DYS, DCFS, some were in mandated court programs, but I also have a lot of, natural stars, A students in, honor classes and BSU. So it's such a beautiful community that being a part of the program is, I tell the students, this is your example of community, and this is how we're going to learn and build and grow together. We're going to start here, and then we're going to take it and we're going to insert it out into the community. And we've been successful and amazing. Actually, we were just selected as the Worcester Magazine Hometown Hero 508 Cheers for the work that we do in the community. And it's really special because our youth literally serve in the community. They learn the power of service. Then they learn the power of their voice. And then I teach them the power of their personal stories and how to harness their personal experience and use that to change something in their neighborhood or change something in our school system. My youth go to city council and school committee meetings, and they advocate. They testify, they share their personal stories and their personal experience. And this is something I've turned into something very special. We have 2 6-week signature mentorship programs where our youth actually get paid. I participate in YouthWorks with WCAC, and I'm one of their largest employers of youth. And I think my program's special because they said, you know, we give Echo the kids that no one will take. And we give Echo the kids who aren't usually successful in other places, and they fit right in and they always love it. And she always makes them feel welcome. And service is for everybody. And food is for everybody. Food is love. So, you know, we're teaching the youth leadership and power through love, addressing food insecurity. So, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. Before I jumped on this meeting today, I was meeting with Senator Kennedy because we were planning our Girls Advocacy Day. She's sponsoring my girls program, and I'm taking a bus load of girls out to the State House on February 26th for Advocacy Day for the I Am bill and women's equity bills. And those are bills that that were just passed that support public spaces, mandating them to have menstrual hygiene products available for women at no cost and in multiple forms and comforts and sizes. And it's just amazing. Like, our girls have written testimony in on that. You know, we were supposed to go to the Mass Now Equity Summit on Saturday. Unfortunately, I had an emergency within my home and we had to cancel that. But on February 26th, Senator Kennedy is ushering and escorting our girls to the State House. And, you know, it's just so special what we've created. We involve people all the way from the unsheltered, all the way up to senators and mayors and city representatives, but the youth get to see themselves in those people. And they get to learn that they're special enough that those people will conversate with them and give them their time. And I've had youth say, you know, literally stand up in front of city council and said, people said I was a bad kid and nobody cared about me. And Miss Echo told me I could change the world. And now I'm standing here at City Hall, you know, and this is why we need to fund programs like this. So we're special. And I think the city could use an authentic voice that's connected to the youth. My program is run by youth, it's led by youth, it's informed by youth, and that's why we're successful. And I think if we're really going to serve the youth, we need to make sure that the youth voice is at the table. And I have a direct connection to the youth voice because my entire program's existence is built on the youth voice. And that's why we're powerful. And that's why we've been able to grow so quickly.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to tell you that you've legitimately made me teary hearing about the amazing things that you're doing with your kids. So thank you for that explanation. Any questions from the other CAC members?
Yeah, I'm just going to say it's not lost on me the significance of your name, Echo. What a beautiful name for what you do. Thank you.
And I'm going to add to that. I've seen you in action and you're good. You're really good. Thank you for your participation in our civics.
Thank you.
Well, hearing no questions, we'll move directly to a vote.
All right, Echo for the Advisory Commission on Youth. Is it?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor of the Commission on Youth. We'll move to the start of Women Advisory Commission. Izzy?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Again, all 7 members voted in favor. So both commission.
Thank you so
2
much.
seconds before, I'm sorry, I cannot let this opportunity go without saying, it is so important for our youth to see citizens and civic engagement. And I'm just going to put this out there. If anyone would like the opportunity to either in person or virtually spend a little bit of time talking to our youth about civic engagement and advisory boards and commissions, it's not going to be a long time, but it's going to be a good time. But they need you. They need to hear from you. They need to see it. So yes, Ted, please, and anyone else, my email is echo@508cheers.org. And please reach out to me, and we would absolutely love your participation.
Well, thank you for making that request. Lamont, can I ask you to follow up with Echo to work out some details, and then we'll see who can attend?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll do
Amazing.
that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And in the
We'll see you
meantime,
down in the chambers.
I'm sorry, say again, Ted?
I said, we'll see you around in the chambers.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Our next applicant is Keith Linares. Is Keith here? How about Kristen LeBrick? Lawrence Haley? How about Hayatullah Farhat?
Did you say Kim Stones? There we go.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to jump over you. Kim, you're next, and we're here to talk to you, I believe, about the Community Preservation Committee.
That's right. Thank you.
And thank you for catching that. I really didn't mean to skip over.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm a little sad to be following Echo, quite honestly. So, I'm Kim Stone. My husband and I have lived in Worcester for almost 28 years. And I am applying for the Community Preservation Committee. And I'm applying for 2 reasons. One is I'm recently retired. I retired in 2022. So I am in my giving back years. And we really love Worcester. So serving in a capacity that helps this city is exciting. And then the other reason is because I think that the job description for the Community Preservation Committee is a good match for my skills. So I was most recently for 16 years the director of development at Worcester Academy. Development is a fancy word for fundraising. And so in that capacity, I worked mainly with individual donors and foundations. And it was my job to go to them and share with them the mission of Worcester Academy and to sort of see where the mission of the Academy and the mission of the philanthropist or the foundation sort of overlapped. And so, so it was all very, very, mission focused and relationship building and trust building. And then as a follow-up to, once we would get funding from a foundation or from an individual donor, the follow-up would require me to go back to the donor or the foundation and say, listen, here's how we used your money, making sure that it was in alignment with what the donor wanted. So here's what we did with it. Here's the impact that we had. So it's sort of, so what I did is sort of like sitting on the other side of the table of what would be required on the Community Preservation Committee. And I think that, the skills that I gained in that job are, completely applicable because we would be reviewing applications of people, of organizations looking for funding through this phenomenal fund. So looking at their applications, seeing that they are in alignment with the mission of the Community Preservation Act and the city, and then following up, making decisions and according to that, and then following up to make sure that those funds were indeed used in the way that they were supposed to be used. So, and made the impact that they were supposed to make. So that's why I decided to apply. I attended a meeting in September. I've had quite a few conversations with Jacqueline in the meantime and read over some of the material. And I'm just eager to serve on this committee.
Well, thank you. Any questions from the commission members? Hearing none, I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, Ken Stone for the Community Preservation Committee. Isa?
Yes.
Ter?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yeah.
Carol?
Yes, yes.
All right, all 7 voted in favor, so motion passed.
Well, thank you, Kim, for coming tonight. You'll be hearing from Human Resources about next steps.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too.
You.
Let's see, I think we're up to, is Emarachi Asher here? How about Colin Daly? Joshua Kurivan? Anna Cooper? So Anna, if you're here, I do see that you're signed in.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna get my visual working in 1 second.
Sure, take your time.
Yes,
In the
I'm here.
meantime, thank you so much for joining us. And we see you're here to talk to us tonight about your application for the Commission on Homelessness.
Yes, thank you so much.
Well, please tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in that commission.
Hi, can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, I'm a social worker. I'm independently licensed in LICSW. And I'm interested in joining the Commission on Homelessness because I have worked in the field of chronic homelessness throughout my career. I've worked several years in that field, and then additionally as a medical social worker, I've also worked with immigrants and refugees and asylum seekers. And I currently work as a behavioral health case manager for a insurance plan that focuses largely in Worcester and the surrounding areas. So I spend a lot of time talking to people who live in Worcester, who are in a lot of distress for one reason or another. And a lot of those folks are experiencing homelessness or facing homelessness. So it's just been kind of woven into my life and career for many years. I was listening to some of the doctors talk earlier about sort of like what happens to people before they make it into their exam room. And I feel similarly, that like people have really rich stories and really varied lives. And there are a lot of paths that lead people to end up living outside or living in their cars or living on people's couches, just not having as much security as they deserve and would help them thrive. So that's why I'm here. I think hearing the other people who've applied for this commission, I'm like blown away. It would be a real honor to serve with them. But I think the thing that a social worker can bring is a bit of a different kind of like systems perspective. So I obviously have worked really closely with people experiencing homelessness and cared really deeply about them, worked alongside them, and really prioritized like their voices and their experiences. But I've also worked really closely with landlords and with permanent supportive housing providers, and kind of like bridging those relationships, resolving conflicts there. I've worked really closely with people experiencing acute mental health crises, and substance use issues, really things kind of across the board, disabling events, losses of family. So those I've kind of come at the issue from a lot of different angles, from kind of working for a housing subsidy, now working for their insurance company, working from kind of like the legal end, sometimes with people as well. So just kind of like a wraparound perspective on that. And it's something I care really deeply about. And I, like other people have said, care really deeply about giving back to the place that I live. And I know just kind of the changing landscape we're in right now, the way the economy is and the way certainly changes to healthcare are happening. I'm hearing it from people, and people are making decisions about, you know, groceries or healthcare, rent or healthcare. And I want to be part of a city that responds to that with compassion, and with like ideas that can work, and meet people where they are. So that's me.
Any questions from the commission members? I think we're ready for a vote.
All right, Anna Cooper for the Commission on Homelessness. Is it?
Absolutely, yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
I mean, we have some pretty amazing people in this city. It's definitely a yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for hanging in there. And actually for everybody else who's still hanging in, thanks. We know this is a long interview meeting tonight, but Anna, you'll be hearing from Human Resources about next steps. So thanks so much.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Good luck.
Let's see. Our next applicant is Pingsheng Chen.
Good evening.
Good evening. We see you're here to talk to us about the Community Development Advisory Committee, which I'm going to shorten to CDAC because that's such a mouthful. But if you'll please tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest, we'd love to hear it.
So I'm a Ping. I'm immigrant, come to United States over 30 years ago. I went to UMass, I was an English teacher, went to UMass Amherst, got a ESL master degree. While I was there, my professor wife was a librarian. She said, Ping, you like a library so much. I do a lot of research there. She said, you should go to library school. So I went to the library school, and the Worcester Public Library hired me as the first professional immigrant professional librarian 30 years ago. They welcomed me and give me a lot of opportunity to learn, to grow, to contribute. So I become entry level, then go to each ladder. And at the end of my tenure, I'm a department head for the public services. If you use the library, you know all the public service information desk, all the collection on 3 floors, and also in the basement, I was a team leader for that. So during my tenure there, I told myself, when I retired, I want to give back to the community, welcoming me 30 years ago and giving me so many opportunities. So the first day I make announcement I retired, and my staff will send me to the literacy volunteer of Great Worcester. They need help because they were experienced severe and staff shortage and the office closed because they are in the library, and our staff will try to send a student patron there. They cannot get service. So I kind of jump into there, serve as the executive director over 2 years. Now I'm officially retired again. So now I go back to say, okay, I want to help a city. One thing I'm interested in this community is because during the tenure in the library, I led the team of professional librarians do research for the public, in person, online, for small business, and for nonprofit. People want to start nonprofit. Do research workshop on how to find a grant. That skill not only give me experience, knowledge about the city, what they're looking for, and working with the city department. I know many people in the city department because they come and need help, do research. And also, doing this research give me opportunity to learn all the resources. When I was at the literacy volunteer, one thing I learned very fast, nonprofit executive director, part of a job is finding money, finding grants, have to be relevant, have to address the needs of a community. So the first question I ask, why there's no city grant support what we do? A literacy volunteer, just last year alone, 450 new immigrants, adult learner, walking into our door, want to learn English. So I said, this is a city. We try to address the city needs. Why there's no grants to support? I know there's this grant. Why nobody apply for? Why United Way hasn't applied for? Why we don't have this few big local grant? I know, become working in the library. So I started to do the research and went to city, find more information. Of course, applied this grant because in the library, I have experience apply for many government and federal grant to support the library service. So I'm understanding this grant, the process, and understand how to do that. So I really appreciate the opportunity of this grant can offer. So we successfully got a grant, and then I just see the needs for me to help. One is a lot of people don't know the grant exists, especially small nonprofit. The process is very challenging, so how to break them down, how to help people. I talk to the people in the offices. They also say, people don't know this. How do we get people understand this? I think my skill, my knowledge about city. I live in city over 30 years. So I'm move here, never go away, and work here. So it's a giving back time. So this is something I think I really can help.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any questions from the council members? I think we're ready for a vote.
All right. Pinching for Community Development Advisory Committee. Is it?
Yes.
Tara?
You made this easy for me, yes.
Thank you.
Kelly,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Arma,
Yes.
Casey,
Yeah.
Carol.
Yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor.
Congratulations, you'll be moving on in the process.
Thank you so much. This is like I'm just in adore you guys. How many hours? I was there last time. I tried to fix the technology. I just say I'm so impressed. What do you offer? Okay, I do my part, giving back. That's why I'm inspired by you guys. Thank you so much.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you for your application and thank you for your patience after last month's technology kerfluffle.
No problem. So thank you.
Typing.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Okay. Lost my place on my sheet. I'm so sorry. Is Noelia Chafoya here? How about Jennifer Bradford? Nicole Belpena? Ricardo Basurto?
Right here.
Lovely. Well, thank you so much for hanging in there. We know it's getting late. And tonight, we understand you're here to talk to us about your interest in the Commission on Latino Affairs and the Human Rights Commission.
Yes, mostly, absolutely. First and foremost, like, thank you very much for for giving us the opportunity to be here and for hanging us all the way to the end. And glad the audio is working this time. So I finally moved to Worcester just months ago. I live in Shrewsbury for since 2023, 2024 when my wife became a professor here at Holy Cross. And I have been actively involved in the community. I started volunteering. Now I serve as a board member at the Latin American Health Alliance, Hector Casa Reyes House. When we essentially provide services for in-house medical treatment for for Latino men who are going through rehab. We have a program for that. But to me, the whole idea of have the opportunity to serve in this community, it comes from the personal situation. Until just a few months ago, I finally obtained my citizenship. So I was the moment that paperwork came through is perfect. Now I feel more comfortable now to actually take a more active role in the decision making here in the community that I am part of. So I have been doing that, and I'm just really looking forward to do so. I worked for almost 3 years at the city of Asheville, North Carolina, as a language accessibility and community engagement specialist. So it was dealing a lot with the communication, the efforts, and community engagement through different situations that the city was doing a lot of reaching out to the community. And I have had a chance to try to do the same to some degree here at Worcester. So basically, pretty much that. I was born and raised in Mexico, so I'm a Spanish native speaker, and I have been studying because when we first moved here to Worcester, to the area, because of my wife's job, I started to study a lot of okay, what's the community, what's the nature, what's the composition, demographics, I was really pleased to see we have a significant high percentage of immigrants and English as second language Spanish speakers. So not only is English and then Spanish, but we have a significant population who speaks Portuguese, Arabic, Vietnamese. I have tried to learn Arabic, but I have failed miserably at it. But I have becoming quite good at I have now a conversational intermediate Portuguese. It's pretty interchangeable. So I'm trying to actively to better communicate with my neighbors and so on. And talking with them on a regular basis, seeing their needs and the market or in the street or in the bus, saying okay, we do have signs in multiple languages. That is great. It was mentioned earlier, the city has taken efforts to become a sanctuary city for LGBTQ plus rights, and also it's taking efforts to protect like racial profiling and like with like immigration like attacks on the community and so which is something like really it's good to see being done that. So I'm eager to take like a more active role like in this particular community that has welcomed me, and I'm happy to have been member 4 years now. So yeah, that's pretty much why I was like yay.
Any questions from the commission members?
Ricardo, are you familiar with the Commission on Latino Affairs at all? They do?
I have yeah, thank you. I have reviewed some of the work that has been done and some of the recommendations, but I haven't had a chance to see most because, if I recall correctly, some of the members have been, at least I couldn't find records that has been active significantly recently. So,
okay. I think it might be an asset to it. Thank you.
Other questions from the commission? Hearing none, I think we can go forward with a vote.
All right, Ricardo for the Commission on Latino Affairs. Asa?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Alma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
So all 7 members voted in favor of Ricardo for the Commission on Latino Affairs. Now we'll move to the Human Rights Commission. Asa?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Alma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Another yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor, so yeah.
Muchísimas gracias, amigo.
Muchas gracias, Ted.
Thank you so much for your patience tonight, and you'll hear from the Human Resources.
Looking forward to it.
Next up is Antonio Pastor still here?
Yes, I'm here.
Good evening. We see you're here to talk to us about your interest in the Worcester Ballpark Commission and the Off-Street Parking Board.
Yes, thank you very much. And although I'm kind of at the back end of the group, it's been nice to hear stories of all these other folks that are looking to get involved. So it's been a pleasant evening so far. So it's great. Anyway, my name is Antonio Pastor, and I've been a resident of Worcester now for 20 years. Originally moved into the city. My wife is a professor at Assumption University. That's what brought us into the city. And I'm in business. My work is with technology companies, and my kind of specialization within that has been leading companies into the Latin American, Caribbean, and parts of Southern Europe. And as a result, I've had to, done a great deal of, business planning. I have to be, aware of the legal environments in all of these, markets, from a, commercial law, labor law, et cetera, because, how to, hire people, so on and so forth. How to move money in, how to move money out, so how to deal with all of those, complexities from, building, growing and sustaining businesses in those markets. And I'm kind of getting near the end of my career, getting close to retirement. I think kind of like, was it Kim was from Worcester Academy and getting ready for retirement. And so earlier this year, I participated in the the mayor's civics academy, and that served as a great primer to learn much more about how our city government is organized and structured, et cetera, and inspired me to seek a way in which I can actually get involved and contribute to the city. And the reason why I've looked at the commissions that you noted is really because in part because the openings align to my district, as well as kind of the background and skill set that seem to be required for those commissions align well to my business background, planning, understanding of law, general business acumen, et cetera. So yeah, that's a brief introduction to who I am.
So I will say we don't see a lot of applicants for off-street parking board. Can you tell me a little bit about what has specifically drawn you to that commission?
Well, I think that really it has to do with the skill set that I have. That I've watched some of the meetings, and a lot of the meetings tend to be going over different contracts, issues and things of that sort. And I just think that the experience that I have is well aligned to what seems to be the type of work that has to be done on that commission. I know it doesn't seem like a very high profile commission. That's okay with me. I mean, people have to dig in and contribute where their skill set aligns to what's required. And so so it's much more aligning my skill set to where the need is.
Thanks. A lid for every pot.
Yep.
Any other questions from the commission?
Yeah, I have a question. The ballpark commission. What brought you interest to that?
Again, it's really the skill set that seems to be required to be effective as a commissioner on that commission. And obviously, the ballpark is a very significant asset that the city has, and it'd be wonderful to be involved in something that has such importance in the city.
It's also a bit of a liability too.
Yes, indeed it is. Yeah, and so there's a balance that needs to be attained in terms of various interests that are at play there. And I think that the experience that I've had not only in business, dealing with budget issues and all those types of things where you need to balance a great deal of interest and within an organization has perhaps will serve me well if I'm able to sit on that board.
I can agree with that. Thank you.
Hearing no other questions, I think we're ready to go forward with some votes.
All right, Antonio Pastor for the Worcester Ballpark Commission. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Amma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor of Antonio going to the Ballpark Commission. The off-street parking, is it?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Amma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
all seven members voted in favor of Antonio going to the off-street parking board.
Thank you so much for your applications, and you'll hear from Human Resources.
Thank you all. Have a pleasant evening.
You too.
You too.
Cheers.
Is Tuin Akinbuli here?
Yes, she is.
Great. Hello. We understand you're here
Hello.
to talk to us about CDAC, the Community Development Advisory Committee. Is that correct?
Yes, I am.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in the commission.
Sure. My name is Toyina Kimbuli. I'm a longtime Worcester resident. So I call myself an American-born immigrant because I was born here, but I wasn't raised here. But growing up in Nigeria, my mom was very big on civic responsibility. So I always had that with me. So I went to school, I went to UMass Amherst and graduated with an economics degree, so resource economics. Then I have an MBA that focused on strategy and leadership. And so I've always done community work in all of the different, communities that I've lived in. Even when I worked in corporate, I was working as a doula and mostly working in doula aspects for unhoused people. And then also I've worked internationally as well doing, volunteer work really. And so having been in Worcester, I actually serve on the Nigerian Association organization. And one of our key members there had urged me, and she was like, you should try to join the commission knowing my background. And I didn't think it was really open to, I knew it was open to Worcester residents, but I really didn't know how to really go about it. So anyway, I applied for the role. And so a lot of what I've done here in Worcester, I've mostly worked in community development, health equity, and also program management. And so in reference to that, I've worked a lot with organizations that focused on like inclusive and equity-based perspective. So for also people that are refugees and immigrants. So everything from grant writing to job placement to housing. And, I've been successful in that. And also having my background in resource economics, I felt like this was a sort of like a good role for me and a fit for me in reference to that.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission members? I think we're ready for the vote.
All right, turn for the Community Development Advisory Committee. Is it?
Yes.
Tia?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Definitely yes.
Our seven members voted in favor.
Thank you so much. And Pink, once we're on board, I really look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is Edson Montero here? How about Madeline Escobar? Andrew Lowe?
Yes, I'm here.
Andrew, we understand you're here tonight about your application for the Community Preservation Committee. Is that correct?
That is correct. And I, as far as I know, there were 2 vacancies on that group. So the one that you may have just filled still leaves another, I hope.
Well, excellent. Tell us about yourself and what you're interested in joining.
Sure. I'm a 10-year resident of the city with my family, and I think a few folks have mentioned they're approaching or in retirement, which frees up a little time for them. Well, my kids have aged to a group where there doesn't have to be as much hands-on supervision at all times. So I think that frees up a little time for me to get more involved in the community. So At work, I am the Director of Community Development and Resiliency Planning at the Regional Planning Commission. That covers most of Worcester County, including the city of Worcester. And, in that role, I do some environmental planning and long-range planning, but I really focus more on plan implementation. So I'm not a regulatory planner like some of the folks you had talking about zoning and planning earlier today. But I do a lot of plan implementation. So that is grant seeking, it's grant management, it's project management that for projects that are funded through the grants. And aside from that, we also do some grant making. So in that role, we've done grants of service, true sub grants, and in past jobs, I've also been involved with grant making and vetting of projects like that. So in my role currently, which I've held for the last 9 years, we essentially function as staff to many of the more rural communities around the county. So, the city of Worcester, some of the other larger suburbs have staff that can fill your planning and development roles for the most part. But in the more rural communities, the Planning Commission comes in and we help towns do things like vet projects very similar to those that are under the purview of the Community Preservation Committee. We help them develop them, figure out what's eligible, what's not eligible, what funding sources are out there, where the gaps are, and that kind of thing. So as part of that, I'm out in communities quite a bit, and I've had a chance to work directly with a lot of committees that are, well, in some cases are actually community preservation committees, but in many cases are more like the Community Development Advisory Committee that the city also has, or, ad hoc groups that are trying to address one particular issue or topic. So in that role, I've really had a chance to see what the value of those types of groups can be to a community in terms of, bringing new projects in and helping to provide different perspectives on what priorities are or how to align projects with the priorities that the town may have set in other ways, or obviously in this case, the city has set. And I've also seen that the people who serve on those committees, a lot of times that find it rewarding. It's a good way to be involved in the community. And I would look forward to doing something in the city here where I live. And aside from that, the types of projects that I have experience with are very much in alignment with the ones that CPC oversees, at least in the first round of grants, which they made last year. And I believe they've recently received or are soon to receive applications for the next round. So I have quite a bit of experience with parks projects, with some historic preservation projects. I helped with the major project at the Leicester Town Hall, which is a historic building, to try to make it handicap accessible. We've done parks in Hardwick and Leicester that I've been involved with, housing projects of various types, from housing rehabilitation to there's one in Millbury I'm working on now, which is improvements at a housing authority property. So I do have background in those kinds of projects. I really believe in the mission of the CPC. I think it's an important asset to the city and helps fill some gaps in types of projects that the city has struggled to fund in recent years. So it can be a really important gap filler for livability issues and the all-important housing issue in the city as well. So I would hope that if I'm appointed to the CPC, I could help vet projects that come before them or work with potential applicants to try to develop projects and understand what the priorities of the CPC are, what the eligibility factors are under the Community Preservation Act, and so forth. So I'm really looking forward to finding a role with the city in one of the committees, and I think that CPC is probably the best fit for me. With the understanding, the CDAC, I have a lot of background in that, but that has a busy season that's the same as my busy season at work. So that one I think is less of a fit for me potentially.
Any questions from the CAC members? Hearing none, I think we can go forward with a vote.
All right, Andrew Lord for the Community Preservation Committee is here.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes.
Emma.
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
Carol?
For sure, yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and you'll hear from Human Resources. All right, home stretch, folks. I see Lauren Harvey is still hanging in there. Would you like to talk to us about your application for the Conservation Commission and the Historical Commission?
Yes, I know it's very much in the home stretch here. So, hi, I'm Lauren, and I am going to talk about the just interest in both conservation and historical. The biggest thing is I am very
Media.
okay. Yeah, thank you. All right, we'll start over again. Hi. I know. I think we're all hanging on there for a second there. So just basically I'm Lauren and I am interested in serving on the Historical or the Conservation Commission. I have lived here in Worcester for the past 10 years and I've been finding a way to how can I serve Worcester? How can I get involved in the community? How can I be part of some of the changes or help preserve what's around in our community here? So I was just really looking around and both of those commissions really, I would say, called to me in the sense of what I'm passionate the most about, which is preserving our history and our natural spaces. So one of the things about the natural spaces, I happen to be involved in a role that made such a huge impact on me, which was the stormwater management. I was an erosion sediment control inspector. So I got to read all those technical specs of the blueprints and really just trying to communicate and figuring out, making sure that we're in line with the regulations. And then of course with the history piece of it's quite interesting about everything that was there, the historic buildings, is there for a reason, and how do we preserve those, right? Where are the tools that we have at our disposal and making sure we're in line to essentially preserve it. And I just really just kind of called to that a little bit because I want to really use my skill set in terms of being able to look through what's being brought to us on the commissions and being able to make sure that it's in line with what we're trying to do to protect, to make sure that we're following the rules and making sure that, we're protecting our resources, basically. And I just really am quite very, very passionate about that because everywhere I go, I'm like, oh, it's great, the work that we're doing. I want to help and continue doing that. I will say, I have had a variety of roles, which I bring different perspectives, being able to kind of sit back and ask the right questions and being able to listen. So that's what I feel like would bring my skill set to both commissions.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission members? Hearing none, we'll move on to the votes.
All right, Lauren, for the Preservation Commission, is it?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All right, also member voters in favor of Preservation Committee. And then for the Historical Commission, is it?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Also, yes.
All right. Seven members again voted in favor.
Thank you, Lauren. We appreciate your applications.
And thank you so much for doing the great work tonight. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Is Aletta Hong here? Or Michelle Horn? I do see Fauzia Ibrahim. Fauzia, are you available to interview? We will circle back. In the meantime, is Stephanie Kozur here?
Yep, that's me. Hi. And that was great pronunciation of a difficult last name.
Well, thanks for bearing with that. We see you to speak with us about your applications for the Green Worcester Advisory Committee and the Parks and Recreation Commission.
Yes, all right. So hi, my name is Stephanie. I am a resident of Worcester now for a little over 2 years, but I grew up in Massachusetts. I've lived in cities inside of New York, different cities inside of Massachusetts in the greater Boston area. And now me and my husband have just purchased our home, just over 2 years ago. I am in the business of medical and laboratory devices. And so while that doesn't quite align with right away with Green Worcester Advisory Committee or Parks and Recreation Commission, I am also in charge in making sure that we're abiding by our corporate sustainability and green energy goals, and also volunteering during my hours, yes, and making sure that our products align with those sustainability goals as well. So this, while not really aligning with my career, is more of a passion project for myself. I'm interested in growing my contributions to Worcester now that I live here and I'm a resident. I believe that this is kind of my right moment to start contributing in a more structured way. I am interested in hopefully more of a long-term and deeper civic engagement as I grow in my community in Worcester. A little bit of background for why specifically Green Worcester Advisory Committee. I benefit from a lot of the programs that are going on. So the Smart Energy Advice Program I've benefited from. I also, my claim to fame in my friend group is I wrote to 311 and requested the public trash cans and recycling cans around the Grafton Street area, which is close to my home, and suggested some placements for them in 311. So I was really excited. I've engaged with the Instagram account for the zero waste and those cleanup crews and volunteering in that way. So I had started really small, and I feel like this is my next step into getting more active and more involved in my community. And I just want to say, even if it doesn't work out for me for either of these, it's been a really inspiring way to spend my Wednesday evening, and it's been such a cool process to witness and be a part of so far.
Well, thank you so much. And I will just say, interview sessions are the best because we get to know why people are passionate about the city that they live in. And so we appreciate you hanging in there. Are there any questions from the commission members? All right, I think we can head straight to the vote.
All right, Stephanie for Green Worcester Advisory Committee. Izzy?
Yes.
Sarah?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Absolutely, yes.
All right. So all 7 members voted in favor of Green Worcester Advisory Committee. Parks and Recreation Committee. Is it?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
Again, all 7 members voted in favor.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you.
Thanks, you as well. So, Fauzia Ibrahim?
Yes,
Yay!
I'm here.
Great. We see you're here tonight.
Did you call me? Did you call me before earlier?
Yes, but as soon as I saw you unmute during the last interview, I knew we'd circle right back if you're ready for it.
Oh, okay. My internet was acting up, so I had to jump off and just go on regular data right before I was called. I'm like, wow. Anyways, good evening to
Well,
all.
good evening. We see you're here tonight to talk to us about the Advisory Commission on African American and Black Affairs, as well as the Advisory Commission on Youth.
Yes, thank you so much. And my name is Fauzia Ibrahim. I have been a resident of Worcester since 2021. Prior to that, I lived in Massachusetts. I moved to the United States from Ghana in 99 and schooled high school in Massachusetts and then moved away after college to the Washington, D.C. area. I've been involved in both Ghana and here, local government, the federal government. In DC, worked for the Department of Transportation. I've worked for Amnesty International. I've worked for the IRAP, which is the Refugee Boys Immigration. I have extensive experience with helping the youth, involving having just inclusive for underrepresented represented communities. So that's where my involvement is. Now, for the past 10 years, I moved back to Ghana. So I spent 6 months in Ghana, 6 months here. I am a certified intercultural communications trainer, as well as a ADR trainer. And I've just come back into the Worcester area to do my master's in law at the University of Connecticut. So whilst I'm here, I want to give back as much as I can, get involved. I am a big contributor and I believe in involving the youth in as early as we can in everything that we do. And the best way to involve them is also to get involved and then also push them for career development. It's never too early to network. It's never too early to give back. It's never too early to be involved in your community. And the only way that you can improve your community, if you care so much about it, is to just be involved. So I'm big on inclusion with everything. I have extensive experience in fundraising for political campaigns, for political candidates, both in the U.S. and in Ghana as well. And yeah, so that's why I'm here. So I'm happy to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the commission? Hearing none, we'll go forward with the votes.
All right, first up for the Advisory Commission on African American and Black Affairs, AC?
Yes.
Tara?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Richard?
Yes.
Emma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All right, all 7 members voted in favor of the Advisory Commission on African American and Black Affairs. For Advisory Commission on Youth, AC,
Yes.
Tara,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Rachel,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes.
Again, all 7 members voted in favor of the Advisory Commission on Youth for Pager.
Well, thank you so much for coming tonight. You'll be moving on in the process for both groups.
Okay, and I just want to say thank you so much to all of you for being on, and definitely adapting the style of interviewing when I do putting all the applicants and everyone on the same platform. It's been such a huge learning process these 2 hours, and I'm grateful. So thank you. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you
Good
so
night.
much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay, I do see that Eddie Laverne is here.
Hi, good evening.
Thank you for hanging in there. We see you're here tonight to talk to us about the Advisory Commission on Youth application.
For sure. Just a quick, brief background on myself. I worked with youth in the capacity of young men with gang affiliations and with weapons charges under the Massachusetts SSYI grant, which is Safe and Successful Youth Initiative. And I did that for a few, close to 5 years, a few years with Worcester Community Action Council and also Legendary Legacies. While that time, I decided to go to school. I was a case manager, so I decided I wanted to go to school. So the initial plan, was to go for my bachelor's degree and just, maybe social work and maybe help those guys in a better way or a deeper way, I should say. But while doing that, I don't know, after speaking with some of my professors in the human services field, I made the decision to go for my master's, for my MSW, master's in social work, to become a LCSW or a therapist. So I'm currently right now in my 2nd year of my MSW program. And the cool thing is that, kind of full circle, I get to do some of my practicum hours at WCAC, where I first started working with those young men. So I could do some hours there for my practicum. It's great for me. Yeah, working with these young men definitely opened up an appetite for me. I'm sorry, lack of a better term, but yeah, or compassion, I should say, or empathy, that I want to help them in a deeper way, which is why I've decided to become a therapist, to serve those guys, saying that while speaking with them as a case manager, I noticed there was a lot of need, mental health, and other spaces, but specifically mental health. And we would refer them to mental health, but we used to use, I believe it was Open Sky and Multicultural, but we used to refer them there and stuff like that. And I would accompany them to make them feel comfortable. And, they, for whatever reasons, they didn't want to do it. They didn't want to continue it. So I don't know, being a Latino, and I grew up myself in a very difficult neighborhood in New York City. Moved to Massachusetts when I was close to 10 years old. I was a troubled teen myself. I had a lot of behavioral concerns. I was kindly asked to leave Doherty High School to go to an alternative school, and I, long story short, I switched it around, turned it around, and here we are. But seeing that need, I just want to, I felt that it's I don't know, I want to help those young men, but also any other individuals dealing with post-traumatic situations or diagnoses. And I guess that's pretty much it, right? Oh, when this opportunity came up, I heard about it. I said, yeah, I really want to serve in a committee where I could lend my experience, my education, my background, lift experience with a board of other members who have other, their experiences and their definitely respected expertise. And the opportunity opened up, and I said, yeah, I would love to put my head together with those folks and see how we could serve this population better and provide or find more resources and more avenues to alleviate the situation in the city with our youth. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission members?
Wow. Are you gonna have time to be on this board with what all that you're doing?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Just gotta ask.
No, the master's program, it is difficult, but luckily my current job is flexible where it doesn't really it works out great,
I'm
thankfully.
familiar with some of the work that you do. So I work for Open Sky. So I
Awesome.
know exactly.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
No other questions? We'll head on to the vote.
All right, Eddie, for the Advisory Commission on Youth, is it?
Yes.
Chair?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Rachel?
Yes.
Alma?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Carol?
Yes.
All 7 members voted in favor of Eddie moving to the Advisory Commission on Youth.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for hanging in there, and Human Resources will be reaching out.
I appreciate you guys' time. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thanks,
My
you too.
pleasure.
I will circle back to see if we've missed anyone, but for right now, I think Killian Madden may be the last person who hasn't interviewed tonight.
Hello, good evening. Oh,
Thanks
coming
for being
online. Oh, there we are. Thank you all for your time. Killian Madden, I am here.
Well, we see you've applied for the Community Development Block Grant Advisory Committee, which we'll just call CDBG to make it easier, and also the Off-Street Parking Board. Tell us about your interest in these 2 boards and a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I distinctly remember my first day in Worcester. It was in 2015. It was in July and it was a Sunday. The streets were all torn up and there was nobody around. It felt like the zombie apocalypse. It felt like Walking Dead was being filmed back then. And I was looking for an apartment and I wasn't sure, but I gave it a chance. And then by the time I moved in, I saw new sidewalks. I saw new streetlights going in. And each year I've seen the city continue to invest in itself and make it a little bit better every year. And that is what kept me around for the last 10 years. And I want to give back and I want to be a part of prioritizing where the grant funds go and how we can make the best impact for our community. For my work background, I have a background in engineering and I worked as a technical project manager where some of my quarterly duties required reviewing proposed projects and prioritizing them according to impact, reach, likelihood of success, and cost, which is directly transferable to the Community Development Advisory Council, which is my first preference for commissions if I were to get it. I am interested in off-street parking. My first 8 years here in Worcester, I didn't have a car. It is possible. I do have a car now, and so I have both perspectives. And I'm also a small business owner here in Worcester, so I see the complete view in how hairy of a problem parking can be. We need to get people into the city. Parking both helps and also hurts the businesses, so it's a hairy problem. But I did play rugby here in 5 years, and I'm not afraid to tackle tough problems. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the commission? All right, let's move on to votes.
Hearing for CDBG, is it?
Yes.
Tara,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Alma,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
Carol.
I'm not saying no to a rugby player. Yes. Thank you, Killian.
All 7 members voted in favor, and then for the off street parking board, Izzy,
Yes.
Tara,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Alma,
Yes.
Casey,
Yes.
Carol.
Yes, again.
All right, all 7 members again voted. So
Thank you so much for sticking it out, and you'll hear from Human Resources on the next steps. Is there anyone left who thought they were going to interview for something tonight and they have not yet had the opportunity to do so? All right, moving on.
That's
I
it.
think- That's it.
Come on.
All right, well, let's move on to the suggested schedule for the 2026 CAC meeting dates. The proposed list made it into our agenda, and they were selected so that they could rotate nights in case people had conflicts with certain days of the week, to try to avoid 3-day weekends and proximity to major holidays and school vacation weeks. But does anyone have any known conflicts where they'd like us to consider any alterations to this proposed schedule?
Okay, I have to be honest. I don't recall seeing that schedule.
Yeah, it's in the document for tonight, and I'm scrolling feverishly to find it because I just want to double check one thing. Rachel, I have a standing second Tuesday of every month. I know there were a couple of Tuesdays on there. Were any of them second Tuesday? I'm trying to find the list.
The January, so the proposed dates are on the very first and second page of that packet.
Okay, that's why I'm scrolling back up to the top of the 200 pages. I was all the way at the end. Oh, did I say that out loud? Yeah.
Yeah, it does look like January, April, and April would both fall on the second Tuesday.
So if those are the only nights, those months, that we can do it, I can be flexible, but I'd rather avoid that if I have the option. Can we look at maybe moving those two?
Yep, I'm looking right
Sorry
now.
to be a problem.
Which one are we looking at?
January 13 would be the first one we're looking at.
And April 14th would be the next.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like April 21st shouldn't fall on anything. And I think that Tuesday right after MLK Day is not necessarily going to be a great availability, but Wednesday the 14th, that would put 2 Wednesdays in a row. How do folks feel about a Monday meeting? We've typically avoided them, but we could do one.
Doesn't
I don't have a
matter to
problem
me.
with that. My only days, I have a concern with Thursday, March 12th and Thursday, June 11th. But I have another meeting that I'm obligated, that I have to chair on those nights.
Okay, well, let's take these one by
Okay,
one.
let's work. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Would
what were we doing?
folks would folks be comfortable moving the Tuesday, January 13th proposed date to Monday, January 12th?
No
That's
problem.
fine with me.
Okay, that works for me.
Yep, that works.
Were there problems for anyone with Wednesday, February 11th?
No.
Richard, 1 second. January 21st, right?
Oh, no. January 12th.
Okay then. All right. Okay.
So no problems with Wednesday, February 11th that I'm hearing. Thursday, March 12th.
That's a little bit of a problem for me.
Okay, let's see what we
We
can do.
could do Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday if you want, Friday.
Since the next Tuesday,
Tuesday,
yes, since the next Tuesday is the April meeting is the one that we would need to switch. Oh, that's still fall on the second Tuesday if we moved that one earlier.
So March.
How would folks feel about Thursday, March 19th? Any known conflicts?
That works for me.
Sounds good.
Works for
That's
me.
good. Beautiful.
Okay, so we'll propose Thursday, March 19th.
Could I, so sorry. It looks like March 19th might be Eid al-Fitr after Ramadan. So that
Good
could potentially be a conflict for like folks.
Okay.
I think we could still go with it, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
I'd rather avoid it altogether just in case. So let's take a look at what about instead, would folks be available on, I'll bet no one's going to want to come interview on St. Patrick's Day, knowing Worcester.
What about Wednesday, the 11th? Rachel, just moving it up one day.
Wednesday, March 11th, does that work for people?
Yeah.
Yep, that works for me.
Yes.
Okay, so that puts us at 2 Wednesdays in a row. So for solving the Tuesday, April 14th problem, let's not go for a Wednesday. For April,
So we could look at Monday that week or push it out to the following week.
so
If
it's
if people aren't opposed to Mondays.
how would people feel about Monday, April 13th?
Sure.
That works.
Okay,
Works for me.
and I know things are going to come up for folks.
Oh, I can't believe I even suggested that and I can't do Monday, April 13th.
All right. How do you feel? Let's see. Oh, we changed one Thursday to a Wednesday. So would folks be able to do Thursday, April 16th?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that works.
I cannot, but if I'm the only one, I also understand. My apologies.
How about Thursday, April 9th, which puts us back on the 2nd of the month, which would actually be perfect.
Works
Wait
for
a
me.
minute. Hold on. Thursday the 9th?
Uh-huh.
Let me just look at the calendar because if it's the second
If,
Thursday.
if this is getting difficult and I'm the only one with a problem on the 14th, then leave it on the 14th as long as we still have quorum.
So that's the problem. I'd really like to nail down a schedule that's as close to knowing that everyone can be there now, because we will have quorum problems with other things that come up for folks. So
For sure. I appreciate that being the goal. I just don't want to be the only one that's putting a cog in the wheel
I see what you're saying.
that we can't seem to resolve, you know.
Would you mind just repeating that date again, please?
It would be Thursday, April 9th, but that's the second Thursday. Is that the day that's
Yeah.
not good for you, Ted?
Yeah, yes, I can't. I'm sorry.
How about Thursday, April 16th? Or was that a no?
16th is
I'm
good.
I'm unable to do the 16th.
That's right. I'm sorry. I can't remember anything after 5 minutes, apparently. I am Rachel Brown, the goldfish.
Just keep
about-
swimming. Just keep swimming.
You're the
How would
smartest
folks-
goldfish there is.
Well,
I
thank
mean,
you.
give yourself some grace. We're all in a meeting after 9 p.m. So
Yes.
it is okay.
How about
about-
Monday, April 13th?
No, I can't do that.
How about the 14th?
No, that's the no.
That's where it is now.
Oh, that's no, that's where we were. That's
The
right.
Wednesday, the
about the
15th.
week
Are we
before?
hitting too many Wednesdays? I know that's a.
It'd be 2 Wednesdays in a row.
I think it would be 3 Wednesdays in a row at this point because we changed March 12th to a Wednesday too, didn't we?
Yes.
With the
How about
following-
Monday, April 20th? Unless I have no idea when Patriots Day is. Is that Patriots Day?
It doesn't look like it.
Yes.
But the 20th works for me. Doesn't look like a holiday.
20th is good.
No, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. I think
Wait,
for
is-
April, then
I think
Phew.
April, I'm so sorry, y'all. I think we were asking about Patriots Day, right?
yeah.
And I think it is the 20th.
No.
So
I
close.
led you all astray. Oh
No,
my
you're right. You're
gosh.
right, Kelly. I just looked it up right now. I was like, wait, I think that is.
Oh, I said it so confidently too. Oh my gosh.
Then we could do Tuesday, the 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, after that long, grueling Patriots Day weekend, we could have a meeting that Tuesday night, right?
Sounds great. All right. Tuesday, April 21st. And that at least reinstates one of the Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay. Wednesday, May 13th.
Good.
Thursday, June 11th. That's one to move,
That's-
Ted.
If you don't mind, yeah. I can do any day of that week. Or even the
How-
following.
How would folks feel about just pushing it to Thursday, June 18th?
Sure.
Okay.
I
Thank you,
don't
everyone.
think I can do the 18th, unfortunately. I'm sorry.
No problem. What about Thursday, June 4th? Oh, no, there'd be enough time between the two meetings. Thursday, June 4th?
I don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not available on Thursdays, unfortunately. but-
Okay. Well then,
Wednesday the
any
10th.
any
I mean,
Thursday?
Wednesday seems to be a good night for most people. I know that keeps us meeting on Wednesdays, but is there a reason we're opposed to that?
It's because some applicants may have standing things every.
Oh, on Wednesdays. That's fair to say. Okay. Yep. Thank you for reeling me in on that.
But we've still only
Thursday the 9th.
we've only added one Monday, and I hadn't picked any Mondays in the schedule. So what about does Monday, June 8th work for folks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. If we need a July meeting, sometimes we've canceled that one, sometimes we've canceled August. But would Tuesday, July 7th work for folks?
So far.
Is that second Tuesday, even
I
though it's
think
so
it's
early in the
first.
month?
That'll be the first Tuesday.
That'll be
thank
the first Tuesday. Then I should be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
you. Wednesday, August 11th, is that a mover, Ted?
That's good for me.
Is it
I'm good with that.
is
Wednesday
Wednesday
the 11th?
or is it a
It's not right.
Tuesday?
Oh, you're right. Okay, I think.
Well, it's
Wednesday,
listed as Wednesday.
but it's listed as August 11th. What do folks, would Wednesday, August 12th work for folks?
Yep, that works.
Works
Yes.
for me?
Okay, thanks. Sorry about that. That absolutely on me, not on our fine staff assistants.
No.
Okay, Thursday, September 15th.
September 15th is,
Is that a Tuesday?
That is, that'd be Let's
Yes,
see.
it's on a Tuesday, yes.
Okay, so clearly, I need to
And if
clean
it
up.
really is a Tuesday, it's probably second Tuesday.
All right. How about
It's the third,
Thursday?
actually.
Yeah. Could we do,
Thursday, the 17th.
Yep.
I can do that.
okay, great. Thursday, September 17th. All right, so no guarantee I got the right days of the week on any of these going forward. October, we've proposed Tuesday, October 20th, which is in fact a Tuesday in my calendar still, and that's the third Tuesday. Is that okay for folks?
That works, yes.
Yes.
Woohoo, almost there. Okay. November, we've proposed Wednesday, November 17th, which should
That
be the
sounds fine.
great.
Is it a Tuesday?
November 17th is on a Tuesday instead.
Okay, what I meant to say was Wednesday, November 18th.
I love it.
Yes.
Yes. Yep,
We're
no
all
problem.
delirious at this point.
Mhm. Finally, we have proposed Thursday, December 8th, but I would like to change the proposal to Monday, December 14th.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay. For now, those are our proposed dates. And hopefully we won't have to cancel anything for quorum, but if folks know about conflicts well in advance, we can always talk about amending the schedule if necessary.
Sounds good.
And the revised list will be in the meeting minutes, right? That come out
Yes.
after this one. Okay, good.
Yes.
All right. Definitely hit the slap happy moments of the meeting. So how about for recruitment and outreach, I just remind everybody about the calendar at worcesterculture.org. And if there's an event where you would like to represent the CAC, please reach out and we can get the materials prepared. Although based on the number of applicants tonight, even though we had to cancel a couple of meetings, looks like we're doing pretty well right now with applicants. I love it.
We're getting really good.
Yeah, another really good group tonight.
Agreed.
Yes.
Multiple candidates made me teary with their passion.
There were a couple people tonight that I wanted to immediately seat on every board, like clone them just to have that representation on every single board.
I just love learning about the amazing people we have in this city.
Same.
It's the
Yep,
best.
it's my favorite.
They're coming out.
Yeah.
They really are.
Any future agenda items that you would like to propose while we're still all together?
I think we should have a group outing.
Yes.
CAC retreat.
Yeah, just go out, maybe have quick dinner or something like that. Just to get
Not
together.
to be a wet blanket, but you can't have a quorum unless you invite
We
everybody.
can't talk about anything. We can all sit
Right.
around a table and look at each other, but we
You
can't talk
could.
about anything.
Yes, you could.
Well,
We might just happen to all be in the same place at the same time
Yes.
and not talk about anything.
or at the very least, we could
Yeah, I
all
know.
come to a meeting in person and then stick around after for whatever snacks various people have decided to bring to share. And then we wouldn't be violating rules.
And we'll just keep it recorded and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
You know, everyone in the
That
city
keeps
loves
us all on our best behavior.
I don't know what the
You have
fight is, but all right, folks. As much as I know you'd love to spend another 3 hours together tonight, if you're interested, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. Thanks, team. And thank you, everyone at the City of Worcester, for all your help with keeping the cats herded for this. This was a mega meeting. See you all next time. And in the meantime,
you.
Happy New Year to all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy holidays,
Happy
everyone.
holidays.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks for your time.
Bye.